Hello, my name is Catherine Harrigus, Communications Coordinator at the Tennessee Bar Association. Thank you for joining us for this third part of our interview with TBA President LUCIAN Pera. Today, LUCIAN discusses ways that the TBA can take the lead in the legal community, as well as how lawyers can become leaders in their own communities.
Most days in my practice, and I think most days as a TBA leader, as president of TBA, my main goal is not to, screw it up, let's just say. The TBA does a huge number of things remarkably well, and the TBA members know that. So for example, CLE. Our CLE program is fabulous. Our members know, and non-members know, that if they sign up for a TBA CLE program, they're going to get a quality program, period. The access to justice work that our committee and such do those projects are remarkable, and they've moved the ball forward on pro bono and access to justice in just countless ways. And my goal is not to screw that up and not to get in the way of those folks who are staff and volunteers who are doing good work. I do think there are things that we can do better. We recently did a survey of members on communications between the TBA and its members, and frankly, it was a solid A report from members that they liked the communications they were getting. They've always liked the TBA Journal. Now they love TBA Today as well. I think the number is something like 93% of members open and read it every day. I just don't even know how to conceive of that statistic. On the other hand, they have told us some things they want, some different kinds of information that they want. And so those things are being worked on. We're trying to do better. In a marketplace where every day the communications, the information that lawyers are bombarded with changes. That's tough. We've got to work hard just to stay in the place we are. But those are the things I think we need to do, is to keep working on some of those things that do already work and make them work better. Yeah, that's a difficult question in some sense. I think lawyers, by dint of personality, many times wind up in leadership roles. As much as lawyers have wanted to complain over time about lawyer jokes and how little respect they're shown, the truth is that citizens in this country, ordinary people in this country, have a great respect for the law. They have a great respect for lawyers, because they see lawyers as their portal, their access to the law. And looked at from another perspective, remember, the most significant law enforcement force in this country are lawyers. You go to a lawyer and say, can I do this? You go to a lawyer and say, my business is having this trouble, can I do this? That's where the law gets enforced in a very large percent of the cases. You don't go sue. You don't go to the police. So we're law enforcement, right? But the other thing that question reminds me, and I've talked with a number of people about this, I do think lawyers are naturally leaders. What church do you know that would not like to convince one of their lawyers to be on their, name it, their vestry, their governing board, whatever? That's how organizations work. What group that's organizing a youth baseball league doesn't want one of the lawyer parents to be on their board too? And it's just natural. It just comes naturally. I do worry about the fact, and I think there's a lot of worry at a number of levels in the profession, about the fact that some of the more public places that lawyers ought to be still in leadership, namely public office, that it's not as true as it once was. And I think we need to do something about that. I was talking with a member of our Supreme Court not long ago who specifically lamented the fact that we have fewer lawyer legislators than we've had in the past. And it matters. It really does matter. We're looking at that question. We're looking at what we can do to affect that. I don't know what we can do. I'm not sure. But I will say this. There are some folks in leadership in the Tennessee Bar that are working on this and trying to figure out what can we do to encourage lawyers to get in positions of elective office leadership. I mean, one thing, that's very clear is we were talking a few minutes ago about the changing market for lawyers, for lawyer services, legal services. Okay, well, you can't be ignorant of the fact that practicing law these days in private practice is a challenge. It's difficult. Lawyers are having a harder time making money. And I'm sorry or I shouldn't put it that way. I don't think there's any reason for a lawyer to be ashamed of the fact that she makes money in her profession. She needs to, she should. She's not entitled to it, but she's in a marketplace. But there's nothing unprofessional about needing to make money to feed your family and keep your office open. But given that need, we've seen that some of the demands of public office have been too much in the current marketplace, where lawyers are having a harder time in the practice. They're too much. Those pressures are too much to let them, for example, be in the legislature, take 4 months off, whatever it is. That's really hard. That's really, really hard. And we've got to figure a way to help lawyers get back into public service. I don't know quite how to do that, but stay tuned. I think we may be trying some things this year.